So how do you date a really hot girl, even if you don't believe that you're hot right now? Maybe you have a crush in school, or you have this girl at work, or at a social club, and you're thinking, she's so beautiful, she's so high up there, high above me, she's so lovely. Why would you want to date a guy like me? I'm not that beautiful. I'm not that charismatic. I'm not that cool. I don't have a lot of money, and I'm not that pretty. What do you do if you're having these thoughts and you're in this situation? The first step to take really is to breathe, take a step back, and really ask yourself, what does hot mean to me? Now, as a dating coach over the years, I can tell you that before I became a coach, I thought that my definition of hot was the definition of every other guy. And when I started coaching, I would talk to clients and I found out there's a huge variety of what people find attractive. For example, I have a client, he's not Latin, but he loves Latina girls. He loves their culture, he loves their skin texture, the skin color, he loves their hair, he just loves everything about them. I have another client who likes girls who are chubby cute, and he just finds that really attractive. And I asked him, why do you find it so attractive? And he said, well, there's just feels like when I hold them, like it feels good to me. I have another client who likes really, really skinny girls with no curves. So there's all sorts of people out there, no matter where you're from. And the first question you have to ask yourself is, what's hot to me? And realize that what's hot to you isn't necessarily attractive to other people. This is important because it allows you to determine what your supply and demand is in the sexual marketplace, which takes us to step number 2. Now, if your definition of hot is, let's say, less traditional, the more traditional your definition, the higher your competition is because the demand is high and the supply is limited. The less traditional your definition of hot is, the easier it is because the supply is there and the demand is really low. So for example, let's say the client with the Latin, let's say preference, he's gonna have competition somewhere here in the middle. The client with the chubby cute or overweight girls, his competition is gonna be a little lower according to society's supply and demand in the marketplace. Let's say a guy who likes fashion models, he's competing with guys at a very high level. So his competition is here, which is quite fierce. Just because love is magical, it doesn't mean that we can't have a strategy about it. So that takes us to the third step, which is, okay, this is my definition of hot girl. Now, where do they hang out? For the client with the Latin preference, we started looking at salsa clubs. We started looking at festival events. We started looking at online sites that had that type of demographic, and he eventually found someone and ended up married. For the client I liked chubby cute girls, there were certain sites for that. There were certain locations for that. There were certain events that they tended to go to, and that's where he met his girlfriend. For the client with a model type preference, he should be in LA or New York. He should be living in a place close to modeling agencies. He should be finding out the events where these models hang out, where they chill, where they're not on the red carpet all the time or getting a lot of social attention, but they're actually just chilling and hanging out and being themselves. So there are different strategies to meeting the type of girl that you find really attractive. The fourth step, really now I'm kind of focusing on the higher competition girls, which is do not say, you're really beautiful, you're so cute, your eyes are so big, I love your eyes, I love your face, you have a smoking body, anything physical. Because when you get to this level of the competition, these type of girls have heard these things hundreds of thousands of times, okay? It's like when you're telling a girl who's really attractive by society standards that she's beautiful, it's kind of like telling a lifeguard, right? It's like, hey, the ocean's blue. It's like, yeah, I know, I'm here all day. So you're stating the obvious, and you're also basically labeling yourself as a guy who is just like every other dude saying the same thing over and over again. So now we know defining your definition of what's attractive to you, figuring out the supply and demand on the marketplace, and then finding locations where you can go online and offline, digital and physical, where the type of women you really want are, and making an effort, consistent effort to go to these events and hang out and be around the proximity of the women you like to meet. Now the fifth step, really, we know not to give her generic lines or what we call tripwire lines. You're so beautiful, I had to talk to you. If I didn't talk to you, I'd regret it. Trying to avoid the lines that everyone says. And if you want more unique lines that I feel tested, lines that are more authentically attractive, then check out the 33 lines that you can download for free in the link in the description. The fifth step really is taking responsibility to improve yourself. And then a question I always ask myself is, in the next year, to attract the type of girls I really want, what do I need to become? And the first thing I realized for me was I needed to improve my look. because I had a pretty bad style sense. I had a pretty big mole here, which was not just a health issue, but I realized it was causing some issues in my dating life. And I'm like, okay, I can improve my look. I can remove the mole pretty safely. I went to a dermatologist. I can improve my hairstyle. I can improve my style sense to look like a guy who actually has the social intelligence to put together this image and this look. I can improve my photos online to portray the type of image that I want, a high value, but an open, authentic guy. And I started realizing that your look is more important than your looks. And unlike other factors that you can't control, how genetically gifted you are when you were born, your look, it can be adapted and changed for any guy. And it can be done very quickly within the weekend if you know what you're doing to drastically improve your social value. It is one of the most powerful attraction triggers that you can change that's within your control that I believe 10x my results. In fact, once I improved my image, I saved probably 90% of the work that most guys have to do to try to convince a girl that they're a cool guy. Because the moment she sees me, she automatically assumes, or her unconscious mind puts me in the category of, this is the type of guy who's cool, who's already got social value. So it's like, I don't need to convince her of that. It's already assumed. The reason I created my course, Seduce with Style, which is a style product, is because I realized that no matter how good your verbal game is, how good you talk to women, unless you improve this area, the game is a lot harder. And once you figure this out, it just becomes a lot easier for you because girls will be giving you opportunities to create those reference experiences where you're like, oh, this is what it feels like when a girl chases me. Oh, this is what it feels like when a girl's giving me attention, standing really close to me, or even initiating the conversation. If this is an area where you feel like you're lacking or that you can do a lot better, or you want to save yourself 90% of the work, check out Seduce with Style. It's a master course site developed. How am I coming across visually within the first 3 seconds to women? It is one of the most powerful attraction triggers that you can change that's within your control that I believe 10x my results. In fact, once I improved my image, I saved probably 90% of the work that most guys have to do to try to convince a girl that they're a cool guy. Because the moment she sees me, she automatically assumes, or her unconscious mind puts me in the category of, this is the type of guy who's cool, who's already got social value. The reason I created my course, Seduce with Style, is because I realized that no matter how good your verbal game is, how good you talk to women, unless you improve this area, the game is a lot harder. And once you figure this out, it just becomes a lot easier for you because girls will be giving opportunities to create those reference experiences where you're like, oh, this is what it feels like when a girl chases me. Oh, this is what it feels like when a girl's giving me attention, standing really close to me, or even initiating the conversation. If this is an area where you feel like you're lacking or that you can do a lot better, or you want to save yourself 90% of the work, check out Seduce with Style. It's a master course site developed. It talks about the core principles of style that a lot of style blogs and style videos don't talk about. The reason why women find men attractive at the very core evolutionary level. And then I take those first principles and I apply them to how I went from a 23-year-old virgin to dating models at Fashion Week. I teach you how to put together your first outfit. I teach you how to determine a look that works for you, how to pick your hairstyle, how to pick your shirts, your jackets, your pants, your shoes, how to put together that look or a couple of looks that work for your personality. As a former model, I teach you how to pose for photographs. I teach you how to edit your photographs without being a Photoshop expert. In fact, there's an app I use that takes about 20 seconds to make your face look more attractive. I'll teach you how to take good photos so that online dating actually works for you, no matter how good you think or how bad you think you look right now. In the advanced section, I talk about how to date girls that are very high competition that a lot of guys would like to date and go after. I also talk about my experience dating models and how that attraction cycle is different for most men. And you also learn exactly how women are thinking when they see a guy, because I'll show you my interviews with them in Seduce with Style. So this is a master course that's really going to help. You can check out the link in the description. Step number 6 is aim for the level of girl, not the girl that you want. A lot of times I get calls from clients and they'll book me for a consult and they'll be like, listen, Giovanni, I have this one girl in college, I have this one girl at work, and here's what happened. And they'll like talk about this girl for the next 20 minutes or so. And I'll listen because I want to know how they're thinking about things. But at some point I'll be like, okay, let me ask some clarifying questions. And then I'll give them the steps to get that girl or take that next step, whatever they need to do. But then I always encourage them, listen, I invite you to take a step back and say, okay, I can get Jessica, the hot girl in high school, or I can get Juliana, this amazing girl from church or at work. But when you take a step back and you ask yourself, okay, let's say Jessica, my high school crush, right? Like I was so focused on getting her to prom and I failed obviously, but she was the hottest girl in my high school. But had I known what I know now, I would have taken a step back and I would have asked myself, what does it take to attract girls like that consistently? Because there are a million Jessicas out there. And I'm so fixated on this one girl. But what you need to realize is it's not this one girl. It's not this one job interview. It's your ability to attract women at that level. And if you focus on acquiring the skill sets to get there, your attraction switches, your style, your image, your behavior patterns, your communication skills, then once you reach that tipping point, girls like that become really abundant in your life and you're no longer stuck in this one-off opportunity. Same thing with job interviews. Once I understood how to interview for manager level jobs, I was no longer fighting for this one job opening. I knew that I had the skill set to properly interview, present myself well, and demonstrate the skills that I need to have to get jobs at this level. So try thinking of it in terms of the level, not in terms of the individual girl, and you'll become overall a guy who gets girls like that consistently. And the last thing you have to do is realize how to talk to women. Now, there's a really interesting video. I think it was a TikTok video. It was Pete Davidson and MGK. Let's just be honest about it. MGK is a tall, good-looking guy. Pete Davidson, not so much. But there was a question that said, who has more game? And Pete Davidson was like, well, look, MGK, just to be real, like, you're a nice guy. Actually, when girls talk to you, they're surprised at how humble and how nice you are. And so MGK is a good-looking guy who's like kind of shy, kind of nice, and that's a good contrast. And Pete Davidson's like, but I got more game. Like, he knows how to talk to girls. So this game, what we call like gift of gab, the ability to talk to women properly in a dating situation and just create that attraction, that is a very valuable skill set. And I realized that after I had my style down, was seduced with style, then I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to talk to women. And when you have your style down and you know how to talk to women, it's like 2 + 2 = 10, right? Because then it becomes exponential. So everything becomes more powerful. In my course, First Date Formula, that's the problem I try to tackle, which is how do you talk to women in a real way that hits attraction triggers, connection triggers, and gets them having fun. So they feel like drawn to you in an effortless way. And you get to talk in a way where you feel like you're really expressing who you are and the girl's actually liking you for being you. So those are the steps you need to take to get a hot girl, even if you don't feel like you're hot right now. Those are the steps that I took. And I can tell you that within a span of 2 to 3 years, not that it'll take that long for you because I had to figure it out for myself. I went from being a pretty lonely 23-year-old virgin who was, kind of depressed to a guy who was living like life to the fullest. I had beautiful dates. I was meeting the right people I wanted to meet that was helping my business, my finances. I was getting advice on my health from people that knew what they were talking about. I was making social alliances with people that own clubs, that own like these very exclusive venues at the time, exclusive experiences, festivals. And I'm like, this is an amazing life I'm having here in my late 20s once I figured this out. So in my mid to late 20s, where I really lived a life that I think was really free that most guys would probably enjoy. And so these are the exact steps I took. I hope that they helped you. If you're really struggling with dating, to be completely honest with you, and this is not an upsell or anything, but there's only really 2 things you should focus on. The first thing you should focus on is your image. It's like, how am I coming across visually within the first 3 seconds to women? Those secrets and how to do that efficiently are in my course, Seduce with Style. You can check out the link in the description. And the second part is, how do I talk to women in the dating context, right? Man to woman. How do I have that gift of gab? How do I say the right things and just know how to flirt? Casanova wasn't the best looking guy, but we knew that he was a patron of kings. We knew that he was stylish, and we knew that he knew how to talk to women. So those are really the 2 steps. Now, talking to women, you can get a head start on my very affordable course, First Date Formula. But these are really the only 2 steps you need to win this game. And once you have these skills, they're repeatable. They'll last you for the rest of your life. And you no longer feel like you're settling for a girl or you just get lucky and you take what you can get. You become a guy who elevates his level, and you just effortlessly know that if you put in a little bit of work, a little bit of energy, that these type of girls will just become a part of your life, okay? I hope that every guy can have the resources that helps them live their great 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, however old you are. It's never too late. And that you can take advantage of the years, over 10 to 15 years I spent in field. Now that's available to you, that you can learn in a couple of weeks. So hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of this video. I'll see you in the next one.